All right, guys, this is an interesting one for you this morning. Thursday morning editorial. How you guys doing? Are we ready for tomorrow? Tomorrow's Friday. I'm ready for the weekend, man. Don't know about you. But the police departments of Philadelphia and St. Louis have done something and taken action that makes me raise my eyebrows. I'm wondering how many other big city police departments have done this, and if any smaller police departments have done this, like, bumfucky Kentucky or someone like that. I was going to say Egypt. But, I wonder how many police departments have done this. We've got Philadelphia and St. Louis on record. This story comes from CNN. I will put the link to the whole story in the description box below, but it deals with social media. And this is something that I myself fell victim to when I had two deputies from San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department share a video from Him and I News on a Facebook group, and I was harassed and berated by probably about 20 people from Facebook, and I had to block all those people. I mean, I just literally had to start blocking people on Facebook. Now the deputies, or one of the deputies, has since denied it, and they've altered or deleted the post so you can't see what was there, but you can see something was there. So I'm not stupid. I'm not paranoid. I'm not delusional. I know what I saw, and they're like, "Oh, we don't post stuff on Facebook." I know what I saw. So I myself had this happen to me to a certain degree. But here we go. The police departments of Philadelphia and St. Louis are taking action following allegations. These are only allegations at this point. That officers posted hateful or racist content on social media. In Philadelphia, 72 officers were taken off the streets and placed on administrative duty. And in St. Louis, 22 officers have been barred from bringing their cases to the circuit attorney's office. The social media posts were compiled by the Plainview Project, which describes itself as a database of public Facebook posts and comments made by current and former police officers from several jurisdictions across the United States. Now, we've had 99 officers in two police departments who are affected by the allegations. St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kimberly M. Gardner put the 22 officers on her office's exclusion list this week, her office said in a news release. Gardner was quoted as saying, "When a police officer's integrity is compromised in this manner, it compromises the entire criminal justice system, amen, sister, and our overall ability to pursue justice." She went on, "After careful examination of the underlying bias contained in those social media posts, we have concluded that this bias would likely influence an officer's ability to perform his or her duties in an unbiased manner." We've got that going on in Yucaipa. The office is currently not prosecuting cases where these officers serve as primary witnesses. Circuit Attorney spokeswoman Susan C. Ryan says she does not know how many cases that affects. Now, CNN has reached out to the St. Louis Police Officers Association and is waiting to hear back. Keep waiting, Rumpelstiltskin. Earlier this month, Philadelphia police launched an investigation into a public database of social media posts by officers that included Confederate imagery, anti-Muslim sentiments, violent rhetoric, and racist comments. As the investigation is underway, the officers have been taken off street duty but are still reporting to work. Well, social media trash talk really shouldn't cost you your job. But if you're going to take that to the streets and you're going to continue to do stuff and you're going to, it's just, there has to be some disciplinary action. You can't just do whatever you want because you got a badge and say, "I'm super cop." No, there has to be accountability. That's why we have cameras. An independent law firm will assist the ongoing investigation. Philadelphia Police Commissioner Richard Ross said Wednesday at a press conference the department plans to review each post to see if the speech is constitutionally protected by the First Amendment, he added. And, we've got First Amendment freedom of speech. But if an officer is on Facebook, I'm just going to give you a hypothesis, a theory here, that if an officer is on Facebook talking about all these Muslim whatevers and these N-words, then he gets out on the street and you'll see that he's pulled over. His ratio from black person traffic stops to white person traffic stops is higher this guy might be racist. I mean, now you've got factual evidence. You can say, okay, on Facebook, he calls them all N-words. On the street, he's pulling over more blacks than whites. Something's going on here. I mean, it's just, and it may be true, it may not be true, but when you've got it documented, when you've got it on social media, then you've got it on the street, you've got it on his stats sheet. Come on now. I mean, an apple's an apple and a diamond ring is a diamond ring. You get what I'm saying? You see it, it's what it is. There's no hiding it. There's no masking it. When it's on paper, when it's documented, when it's on stats, when it's, you know what I mean? If it's just speech, okay, but when it's documented on paper, it is what it is. Ross went on to say if the speech is determined to be protected, no further action will be taken. An example would be an opinion on a matter of public concern that may be unpopular but does not include threats of violence or pejorative language, perjury, I guess, against any protected class. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's rather lengthy. I did put the link in the description box. But he does say something here that these posts are disturbing, disappointing, and upsetting. And I just gave you an example of why they are upsetting. Because if he's calling a bunch of people N-word on Facebook, and then you look at his stat sheet and he's pulling over more blacks than whites, this guy might have a problem. Ross said they will undeniably impact police community relations. Oh, hell yeah. There's no question that this puts us in the position to work even harder than we already do to cultivate relationships with neighborhoods. There's no relationships. Cops justify bad behavior, and cops just don't care because they have badges. And individual groups that we struggle to work with, even those that we have great relationships with. And it's true, you could be really nice to a cop, but then one cop acts like an asshole. The cop you're really nice to justifies his behavior. Well, you did kind of. No. Accountability goes out the window when it's cops shoulder to shoulder. Philadelphia, I'm not jaded, I'm sorry. Philadelphia Fraternal Order of Police Lodge Number 5 President John McNesby said in a statement, or is quoted as saying, "Our officers are entitled to due process just like any other citizen." I agree with that. "We will support and represent those officers during this overly broad social media investigation." The statement went on for far too many officers have been taken off the street during a time of increased violence in our city. Well, it depends on why they were taken off the street. Don't look at the number of officers taken off the street. Look at why. Okay, you don't leave a bad cop on the street just because you got street violence. You take that fucker off the street if he's a bad cop. I'm out of time. I wish I had more time, but go through this if you're really interested. I read it twice now so far, and it's really kind of interesting. Since 2017, that group Plainview that we mentioned has compiled more than 5,000 posts from current and former officers, both in big cities such as Dallas, smaller jurisdictions like Lake County, Florida. Look, social media trash talk is social media trash talk. I don't have a problem with cops trash talking on social media. If you want to get on there and be a dick, get on there and be a dick. But the problem is when they take that from social media onto the street, and then they keep their attitude on the street in uniform with a badge. That's a problem, because all integrity and ethics go out the window. It's just, I'm a cop and I can do what I want. I hate these N-words and and these Muslims, and I'm going to do what I want because, hey, you know what? I'm a cop. I have color of law. I have immunity. That's when it's a problem. That's when it's a problem, is when they taking it to the streets. Because, you can talk all you want on Facebook, but when you take it to the street, now we have an issue. News Now Yucaipa, I'm not going to hammer on this anymore because I have to go. I hope you guys have a great Thursday, bringing you editorials every day through the week. I didn't have one yesterday. I apologize. But we had a staff meeting, so I had an early morning and just napped during lunch. Thank you, guys. I will talk to you later. Tomorrow's Friday, and I do plan to have an editorial for you then. Let's see what occurs in the nation that News Now Yucaipa needs to talk about tomorrow.